Dear students, in this video we shall see the theme, structure and poetic devices used in the poem Ulysses, written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. The poet explores the theme of exploration, the fulfillment of life and death. Throughout the poem, he establishes the idea that one should never give up in life and fulfill their dreams. The structure used is free verse. Free verse is a pattern where there no strict rhyme scheme or metrical pattern is followed. Now let us see the poetic devices. In all the first four lines, epithet is used. Epithet is a word or phrase which describes the main quality of someone or something, and they are usually adjectives. In the first line, king is described using the word idle, an idle king, hence epithet. In the second line, earth is described using the word still, and crags are described using the word barren. Crags actually refers to the cliffs and barren means empty, hence here epithet. In the next line, aged wife. Wife is described with the word aged, hence epithet. In the next line, laws are described using the word unequal, and race is described using the word savage. Savage means wild, hence here also epithet is used. That hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. Imagery is used here. Imagery includes figurative and metaphorical language to improve the reader's experiences through their senses. So here in this line, the poet evokes the visual senses of the readers. I cannot rest from travel, I will drink life to the lees. Here, life is compared to a drink, or we can say life is compared to a liquid which can be drunk. So, comparison is made, hence metaphor. Metaphor states that one thing is another thing. It equates those two things not because they are actually the same, but for the sake of comparison or symbolism. Here life is compared to a drink or a liquid, hence metaphor. In the next two lines, the poet has used contrast. Contrast means opposites. It is the opposition between two objects. So here enjoyed and suffered are opposites, hence contrast. Through scudding drifts the rainy hyads, vexed the dim sea. Vexed means irritate. So here the rainy hyads irritates the dim sea. The human quality of vexation is given to the rainy hyads, hence personification. Rainy hyads are personified here. For always roaming with a hungry heart, here Ulysses roams like an animal in search of an exploration, hence metaphor, and also epithet because heart is described using the word hungry, and drunk delight of battle with my peers. Here victory in a battle is compared to the drunken delight of a man. Comparison is made, hence metaphor. Far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. Troy is a place which is described using the word windy, hence epithet. Yet all experience is an arch where through. Here experience is compared to an arc. Arc here actually refers to monarch, which means a king or a leader, hence a comparison is made, metaphor. Gleams that untravelled world whose margin fades. World is described with the word untravelled, hence epithet. To rust unburnished, not to shine in use. The figure of speech used here is metaphor. If the poet doesn't go on exploration, he would be like a sword rusted without being put to use. So life without exploration is compared to unused rusted sword, hence metaphor. As though to breathe were life, life piled on life. Here comparison is made using the word as. So when something is compared to a different thing using the words like or as, it is simile, hence simile here. Little remains but every hour is saved. Here also contrast is used. Here there is an explicit usage of contrast using the word but. There is little period of time left for a man in his life, but every hour is saved. So contrast. From that eternal silence, something more. Eternal silence actually refers to death here. Euphemism. Euphemism refers to replacing phrases that would be considered harsh, impolite or unpleasant. Here, instead of death, eternal silence is used, hence euphemism. For some 3 suns to store and hold myself, here suns refers to years, comparison, hence metaphor. And this grey, spirit yearning in desire, spirit is described with the word grey, hence epithet. To follow knowledge like a sinking star, comparison using the word like, hence simile. To whom I leave the sceptre and the isle. The figure of speech used here is Synecdoche. Scepter is an ornamental rod which shows the symbol of power and which refers to the whole kingdom, not just the scepter. So here a part actually represents the whole, hence the figure of speech used here is Synecdoche. This labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people. Mild and rugged are contrasting words, hence the figure of speech used here is contrast. This labor by slow prudence. Prudence is described using the word slow, hence epithet. Rugged people. People are described using the word rugged, hence epithet. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties. So centered in the sphere of common duties, metaphor is used. Telemachus is concentrated in his common duties. He gives importance to his work, which is compared to be in the center of a sphere, hence metaphor. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. Here, vessel is given the human characteristics of puffs. Puff actually refers to breathing heavily. Vessel is personified here. The figure of speech used here is personification. The thunder and the sunshine and opposed. Here the poet evokes both the auditory and the visual senses, hence imagery. Thunder refers to rain and the sunshine, it is the opposite of it, hence contrast is also used here. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Human being has the honor and toil. Here old age has been personified and the human characteristics is given to old age, hence personification. Here epithet is also used. Age is described with the word old, hence epithet. Death closes all. So here death is personified, which is given the human characteristics of closing, hence personification. Some work of noble note. Here note is described with the word noble, hence epithet. The long day wanes, the moon, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. The low sound one makes when in a pain is called waning. Here the deep, that is the valley, moans, hence the deep is personified, so the figure of speech is personification. These two lines begin with the word the, so it is anaphora. Anaphora is a repetition of a word or expression at the beginning of successive phrases, clauses, sentences or verses. It's not too late to seek a newer word. Word is described with the word newer, hence epithet. The sounding furrows for my purpose holds. The sound that is created by a plough while hitting it, especially for planting seeds or irrigation, is called the sounding furrows. Here the poet evokes the auditory senses, hence imagery, to sail beyond the sunset and the baths. Here the poet evokes the visual senses, hence imagery. It may be that the girls will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy eyes. Here both the lines begin with the words it may be, hence anaphora. And see the great Achilles, whom we know. Here Achilles is described with the word great, hence epithet. Moved earth and heaven, that which we are. Moved earth and heaven in old days, that is when the poet means that he was young, but it is not a possibility. So an exaggeration is made, hence hyperbole. And also repetition is used in this line. At the end of the line you can see we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts. Hearts are described with the word heroic, hence epithet. Made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. The contrasting words here are weak and strong. At the same time, the contrast is also explicit because the word but is used, hence contrast. To strive, to seek, to find and not to yield. Repetition. Repetition of the word to. Check for the other figure of speech like enjambment, caesura and alliteration in the next video. Subscribe my channel to get updates and also watch my previous videos. If you like this video, click the like button and share with your friends. Thank you. Happy learning.